Well, a very good news story coming out this week. $20 million into the Otago economy thanks to the bike trails. Is that what we call them, Lisa? The bike trails, the rail trails?
Rail trails,
the place
trails.
people go to ride on their bikes.
I've done these, they're brilliant.
And I think this is a really interesting story, and I kind of see it as a good news, not bad news, but good news story. Are we sure it's as good story as they're telling us it is story? So not good, bad, kind of good, Now, and I'll tell you why. First of all, let's look at what's happened. The Queenstown Trails Trust Chief Executive Mandy Kennedy tells us this, quote, she says, the opportunity you have with international visitors to Queenstown is wonderful, but also we do have really great support from domestic tourists and from local residents. Now, I'm talking about the domestic tourists. About a third of the $15 million-ish that's coming from the Queenstown Trail and specifically have come from domestic tourists, which is great.
Yeah.
No concerns about that as well. Looking at, and of the $20 million, obviously that's the bulk share of it. But if we have a look to the Central Otago rail trail, the actual trail that we're looking at behind us here, we are told that there were 17,154 visitors to Central Otago, and they brought in $1.35 million in revenue. However, in 2009, when this kind of become a baby of the Prime Minister, it was his thing, you know, we're going to do this rail trail, we're going to do this bike trail through the country, and it's going to be amazing, and it's going to bring in heaps of jobs and heaps of money. So in 2009, if we have a look at a report in the New Zealand Herald, it told us this about that very same track. Remember, it was 17,000 this year being celebrated by the government.
Yeah.
This is what was said in 2009. The 150-kilometre Otago Trail attracts between 10 and 12,000 people every year at conservative estimates. Up to 80,000 people are used to use some part of it on a regular basis, many to walk their dogs. So if you actually have a look at what was happening, let's say 12,000 conservatively, and now the government's going, look what we've done this rail trail, and now 17,000 people are using it. So I don't want to sound like I'm poo-pooing this, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to go, this is a terrible news story, because it's not. But what I just want us to be aware of is perhaps it's being slightly oversold.
Yeah, I think it probably is getting jollied along a little bit. And as a side note, I mean, how many blimmin' dogs are there in Central Otago?
80,000.
But also, wouldn't we all just, as public, take any good news right now? We're getting nothing but really bad news. So, yay, cycle trails are working. Aren't we all delighted?
Yeah, no, like I said, I want to make this really clear. It's not a bad news story. I'm not saying that. I just want to make sure that we are fair to the story. Let me just also have a look what John Key has said, and this is this year about the $20 million. He has said this, quote, part of the government's tourism strategy is to ensure all regions benefit from the exceptional growth occurring in the tourism sector, and the New Zealand Cycle Trail is clearly a major contributor. So again, my question if I was interviewing John Key was, what was it paying us in 2009? Because something else that we were told in 2009, which was, quote, this is reported in the New Zealand Herald in 2009, it was hoped the 3,000-kilometre cycleway would create jobs for up to 4,000 people.
Yeah.
And currently we're being told 1,300 people have been employed. Again, 1,300 new jobs, amazing, but we were being told 4,000 new jobs. So it's a good story, but I don't think the government should be allowed to overplay this and rejoice that it's all about them, because there was already money coming in before 2009 to these cycleways. There was already people using the cycleways that existed before 2009, and it hasn't quite achieved what they said it would back then. Good news story, but you know, let's do that Kiwi thing where we kind of just keep a lid on it a little bit.
Yeah, dial it back a bit.